I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hey mamas, how are you doing today? I hope that you're having a really amazing day. I also have a couple things I want to talk about. First, are you following me over on Instagram? My Instagram is kind of blowing up right now. I have recently been working with my team on how we want to use Instagram and how we want to implement that and connect with our people over there. And we've been posting some really incredible content lately and trying out some fun things. And I have also been doing a lot in the stories. So if you want to feel like you have that behind the scenes, like you know me personally, like we are friends, I know a lot of you who listen to the podcast feel like we know each other and we're best friends. Go over to Instagram and continue thinking that. I am at Samantha HMS, and I love interacting with you over there. So come see me. I have even been thinking about doing some reels, so I will keep you posted. The past couple times I've opened up the reel maker thing, I have gotten very overwhelmed and confused, but I am committed to figuring it out. So when you follow me and you see me post my first reel, you will know the work that I had to do to make that happen. The other thing that I want to talk about, and it is perfectly linked to today's episode, is my mastermind. So the mastermind is going to be enrolling for new members next week, starting February 8th. The 8th through the 12th, applications are open for new members. We will start in May, and you should all be there. If you love my work, if you have created income in your business, if you're consistently making money, if you're kind of hitting that point where you're starting to see that you're going to get maxed out on your time. This happens to a lot of you. You feel like I've maxed out my income potential because I don't have more hours to exchange for money. If that's you and you want to have a multiple six-figure and maybe even beyond business, I want you in the next round of the mastermind. So go over to my website. Pay attention to the calendar. Schedule it in. The 8th is when those applications are going to be open, and it's going to be the best one yet. This is my intention with the mastermind and really with everything I do. Same with Mama to CEO. Same with every training that I do, every podcast episode. I want each one to be better than the last. And that just really inspires me to keep going and thinking about how can I make it even better. So today we are talking about one of the top things that I work on with women in my mastermind and some of you in Mama to CEO too. This is hustling. We are talking about hustle culture today. And hopefully we are rewriting some of the rules about what is necessary in business. So here's what I've noticed. There's like kind of this movement against hustle right now. Like I felt like when I first started my business, everything was hustle. Like it was like hustle everywhere, hustle mugs, hustle t-shirts, hustle sweatshirts, hustle pencils, like hustle on everything. And this was like the thing. It was like, you want to grow your business, you have to hustle. And I'm a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. I think that he has very strong energy. I like that. I like people who are really like amped up. And so I like listening to him and I like a lot of his message. But I will say, number one area that I disagree on with him is around hustle. And the way that he describes it as like hustle until your eyes bleed and that kind of thing, it's a no for me. And it should be a no for all of you. And I think that Now, like there was that theme, right? Where there was a ton of people saying hustling is so good. And now there's kind of this movement of people who are like, okay, like hustle isn't the best way to get all the way to 1 million and like scale your business, but you have to hustle to get it started. And I actually used to believe this myself and have been questioning it a lot in the past year. Like, is hustle actually required for you to get momentum going in your business? And I actually don't think it is. So let's talk about that. I think that what's actually required specifically to get to your first 100K, and this is what I hear a lot, like, don't hustle to scale, but you need to hustle to 100K. And here's what I think. To get to 100K, this is all that you need. People need to know that you exist. They need to know that you can help them. And you have to make the offer enough times to enough people to sell 100K worth of whatever you offer. This can happen during preschool hours, nap time, evenings, while you sit in the car at soccer practice. This can happen a lot of different ways and places and times. And it doesn't even have to be to that many people. Like those of you who are like virtual assistants and stuff, it does not take that many premium, like recurring retainer clients for you to hit 8K months, truly. All right. Here's what I think. I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and I used to hang out on the internet, just like chatting in mommy forums. I don't know if any of you did this, but there was this website called The Bump. And when I was pregnant with my first, I discovered this website. I discovered the message boards, and I was submerged into this whole world of pregnant women message boards, which was kind of a terrible idea because we were all hormonal and cranky and basically just like fighting and being mean to each other on the message board all day long and then crying and feeling terrible. But in the midst of that, I met some legitimate, actual friends that I am still friends with today. We hit it off. We chatted. We became Facebook friends. We've even met in real life. We've even done business together, some of us. We have met real friends on the internet. And this was like in 2009. Can you believe that? So this is what I was doing when I was a stay-at-home mom and I was lonely. I was like, how can I meet people? I had kids so young and I had no friends who were having kids. And we also moved across country at this time. So we moved across country while I was pregnant. I didn't know anyone and none of my friends were pregnant or interested in having kids. So I went to the internet to meet people and make friends. So this is what I think about starting a business. You're talking to people already. Like, let's not pretend, okay? I know you're on social media. I know you're scrolling on Instagram. I know you're there. I know you've got your phone in your hand and you've got your thing that you're doing, right? You've got something that's going on. You have time to meet people. A lot of you are already talking to people. So this is not that different from what you already do. And this is not hustling. So let's dig a little bit into the lies of hustle culture. And I'm going to tell you like step by step what to do instead and why I think it works better. So here's the definition of hustling. Hustle is when we try to use our actions and overworking to fill in the gaps of our belief. So think about when you have a goal, right? Let's say it's 5K months. You have this goal. You want to hit a 5K month. You don't believe you can do it. You're like, I believe that I could make like 1,500. And then you use action and overworking to fill in the gap from 1,500 to 5,000. So then you're like out there writing 100 blog posts, trying to go live every day, posting a bunch of memes on Instagram. Who knows what else you're doing to try to hustle? Building a website, whatever it may be, right? You're doing all of this stuff to try to fill in the gaps of your belief. This does not work. Belief is the fuel for our actions. So when we act without it, we get nowhere but tired. This is how it works. Your actions are like a car that's taking you to your goal. And belief is the fuel for your actions. And when you're acting without it, you get nowhere but tired. All right? Remember that. Ingrain that into your brain. Write it on your hand, tattoo it on your forehead, get t-shirts printed, whatever it's going to take to help you remember that belief is necessary with our actions. And when we take action without belief, we are hustling and we get nowhere. So let's think about when we're taking action in our business. A lot of you have a limited amount of time. As much as I'll rant about you have time to be on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you do have a limited amount of time to build your business. I think for most of you, that's objectively true. I'm not arguing that, right? And so when we have a limited amount of time for our business, we have to use that time in the most efficient way. Not wasting it. We need to use it in ways that are going to get us somewhere. So when we use it to hustle and we get nowhere and then we get tired, it's not a good use of our time. And this has a lot of you saying, I don't have enough time to build my business, when that's not true at all. It's just the way you're spending your time is not right. So when you think about managing your time, you always want to focus on your belief first. Get yourself fueled up before you take any action. You might be thinking, what do I need to believe? And this is it. I can help them. They want to pay for this, and I can do this. You have to believe that you can help somebody, that they want to pay for what you have, and that you can do this. You can make this work. You can hit your 5K months, your 200,000 this year, whatever it is that you've set as your goal. Believe you can do that. And then from that place, you can act. It's going to be so much easier. Opportunities are going to come flying out of nowhere. I recently got asked to be on a couple different podcasts that have pretty good listenership. This happened because I was committed to not hustling. I was committed to doing my belief first and then my actions. And these kinds of opportunities are the things that just pop up out of nowhere when you are in this space. People are going to DM you. This happens to almost everybody who comes to Mama to CEO. It happens to everybody who joins and does the work. I was talking to my business manager about the stats on people completing the course part of the program. I'm telling you, there's a correlation between people engaging with the work. Now, not even necessarily like binging the whole thing. Binging the whole thing does not create money. What creates money is implementing what you learn. I have a really good story about that. I'm going to share it on a different podcast episode, but I'm telling you, even implementing one thing, getting into this belief, shifting one thing about your actions, people will be DMing you. People will be coming to your discovery calls, already a yes. You're going to sign clients. This happens when you trust the process instead of forcing the process. And you need to do whatever you need to do to stay in that trust in the process. And for a lot of you, you need to do that. Like what that might look like may even be another stream of income for a while. I did that. I don't know how many of you know that. When I was starting up my business as a coach, I was working for another coach and I was making like $40 an hour, a few hours a week. It didn't add up to tons of money. I think at my most ever, I made like 10 or 12,000 in a year working for her. But I had that stream of income, coaching in her business. I did bookkeeping for a friend. And then I had another friend who connected me with a couple VA clients. So I was a virtual assistant for a couple people, just creating some graphics, working on their website a little bit, automating their newsletter, simple stuff like that. I was doing bookkeeping for a friend's business and I was doing coaching. And it didn't add up to tons of work. This was maybe like 5 hours a week. So don't be like, oh my gosh, this was simple, right? And then I had another like 5 to 10 for my business at first. And that was enough. That was enough for me to get going because I had that belief. I worked on cultivating that belief. And then I got out there and met people and let them know that I existed. I let them know how I could help them. And I made the offer to enough of them to hit my goals. Of course, over time, I got better at marketing and selling and building my audience and all of those things. But at the beginning, belief and talking to people, that's really all you need, not hustle. Of course, you want to be willing to show up consistently and do this work. But the most important part is that belief. Remember, it's the fuel for your actions, and hustle is when we try to use our actions and overworking to fill in the gaps of our belief. All right, mamas, I hope this one really served you this week. I will see you over on Instagram. And can I just say, if you're loving this podcast, I would really appreciate if you would give us a rating and a review and a share on social media and tag. I don't know if you know this, but when you tag me on Instagram in your stories and you say nice things, I share it. And then my whole audience gets to see whatever it is that you're sharing. I think that's a really fun thing. When other people, like when famous people do that to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, a famous person shared my stuff and it feels so fun. So I will do the same for you. All right. I will chat with you again back here next week. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, MAMATOCEO.com.